You've seen Harley around the farm for a while now. She's been part of our everyday life. After returning from what we hoped would be her forever home. But sometimes the right thing isn't the easiest. Today, we're making a hard call. It's time to let Harley go if we can find the right fit. Hello, farm friends. I'm here with this beautiful girl. Tell me if you remember her name. She's one that we got, and I never thought I'd keep her very long. The people that approached me said that she just, well, long story short, I got her about 5 years ago, and we bought her and found her a good home. But then after about 4 years, that person who happens to be my farrier, Royce, he said, "Hey, would you like to buy that mare?" I said, "Well, what's wrong?" He says, "Nothing. She's just getting a little slower than what my grandkids want. They want something faster and younger." And I said, "Sure." I liked Harley, and I think we have originally called her Apache because she came from the Apache reservation, but then they called her Harley. Well, I was like, "Sure, I love that horse. We can help her find a home again. That's not going to be a problem." But just weeks after I got her was the Pony Express, and I was like, you know what, she's perfect, I'll just take her. At the time, I did not want to take Chipper, that's our oldest horse, and I wondered if Lex was in foal, and so right here, Harley was the perfect option. So I took her on the Pony Express, and she did so good. And then after I was done with that, we just kind of held on to her because she's been so fun to have around. Well, now that I'm trying to trim down and not have so many horses once Blake gets married and leaves, I'm like, you know what, Harley, I love you, but let's sell you to someone that would enjoy you. Now, right as she just turned there, you saw one of her little issues is she has a blue spot in her eye. She can see around it perfectly. Well, I shouldn't say perfectly, but she sees well. And but when she was younger, she must have got a wire or a stick that poked there, and it's caused some damage, but she can see and does really well. She's got a few scars and bumps, but it's all cosmetic. She moves wonderfully. The one thing she doesn't like is if I have her tied to a hitching post when she's being shoed, or if she's being saddled. Oftentimes she'll fall back and lay against the rope. For some reason, she must have had a bad experience where somebody tried to saddle her or do some farrier work, and she was hard tied and she felt like she couldn't get away. Because then if I just hold her and saddle her, or have someone else hold her and she's not hard tied, she does great. So I'm gonna let her eat for a minute, but I've got someone coming to take a look at her for their dad, who wants a gentle horse to ride. And you know, we'll be sad to not have her around the farm, but that would be a great fit, I think. And so Vicky's like, remember to get a video. Harley's been with us a long time. And I was like, oh, you're right. So sometimes you just get busy, and even though we do videos all the time, sometimes I've spaced it when I'm just in the moment trying to get things done. But I just sprayed some fly spray on her. I'm not gonna saddle her until the person gets here. I'll ask if it's okay if we video. I want them to see how she saddles and how she rides. And she's approximately 15 to 17 years old is our best guess. And she's just a pretty girl. And like I say, we will miss her around here. But tell me if you watched the Pony Express. She did spook when the mailbag came towards her the first night, and I was like, oh no, I should have practiced. I got her in shape, but I didn't have someone throwing me or handing me a mail bag. And so I was nervous. So I had the thought that night, as I was so nervous before I started the next morning, I thought, wait, if I could put some blinders on her just so she didn't see things coming from the side, then that may help. But where do you buy blinders at 10:30 at night in Payson, Arizona? I decided to make them out of a piece of cardboard and black duct tape, and it looked pretty cool. I'll show you a picture. And it worked perfectly, and then she did great through the whole Pony Express, and then as we rode into Fountain Hills and Scottsdale, and maybe Vicky can throw in just a few pictures just to remind you. But let's see if they decide they want her. And like I say, we will miss her, but the goal, as you know, I keep getting horses, even though I tell you I'm getting rid of horses, but right now there is such a need. There is such a need because our drought has been super serious around here. There has been very little rain. When I look at what's happened in Texas and other places in the country, it baffles me how much rain they've gotten in just hours. I would have to look it up, and maybe you can just look it up. What's our precipitation for the year? So here we are in the 7th month of the year, and I'll bet we haven't had more than an inch all year. I may be exaggerating, but not much. It's been an extremely dry year. The green that you do see around us is because of irrigation, or like the green out here, those are camel thorn. And those weeds, they look pretty because they're green, but those weeds send down roots that are so deep. I'm gonna sit on the tractor for a second just to take it easy. So I used to be a realtor on the side of my full-time job, and there was one day I went into a house that had been abandoned for a while, or just unoccupied, not abandoned. And I come in and there was a camel thorn growing through the living room of the house, like through the carpet, through everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So you can pull, if you pull one of those, or if you're digging with a tractor, sometimes you see that the roots will go 8 or 10 feet deep. It's just crazy just to get to moisture. But okay, that's not where I was going with it. Oh, I remember where I was going. So with this drought, so many of our friends, especially on the reservations, are hauling water, buying hay, and yet way too many of the horses out on the reservation run free, and so the stallions breed the mares, and there's babies all over the place. And yeah, it's beautiful, but they're just not being managed properly, and so there's an overabundance of horses and underabundance of hay and water, and it's a problem. And so I'm getting calls all the time. Alan, will you buy these horses from us? Alan, can you do this? And I'd like to just say no, actually, because I'm tired, but I take 2 or 3 at a time and try to find them good homes. And Harley was actually originally one of those that the people just couldn't afford to feed her at the time and wondered if I'd buy her, and so I did. I found her a good home. She came back to us, not because of any fault of Ray's. Ray and his family loved Harley, but they just felt like they'd grown out of her, and they knew that I could help her find a new home again. So there you go, guys. Tell me what you think, and I can't thank you enough. Someone today just sent a check in the mail that will buy, I'll be honest with you, it was $50, and so 15 bales of hay, or $15 a bale for hay. That's 2 of them would be $30, 3 would be $45. So just over 3 bales of hay. So thank you for sending us that. I'm not gonna say your name because maybe you don't want everyone knowing, but on occasion we get people that bless our lives and help us, and 3.5 bales of hay is awesome. That will bless us big time. But that feeds all my horses for a day and a half. which again is a huge blessing. And it feeds them for a day and a half when I have them off of pasture, which right now I have them all off of pasture because I irrigated about 4 days ago. I wait about a week for the ground to not be so muddy and soft, because if they trump the soft ground down, it kind of tears up the pasture. So there you have it. I love to help some horses get to good homes and get good situations, but I'm needing to trim down my keeper horses and then just have 2 or 3 at a time that could go to new homes. So let me turn this around. I'm being lazy sitting on the tractor right here. But actually, some of you may have heard in one of the videos, I just had an MRI and have a bulging disc, and that's causing a lot of numbness down my legs. So anyway, that black stallion is no longer a stallion. We got him castrated today, and he's doing so good. I love that horse, and again, it came from a friend that couldn't afford to keep feeding and hauling water, and so I said, those are beautiful horses. I know I can find them good homes. And but he was just so beautiful and gentle for the little amount of time that he had been messed with. And so I was like, you know what, let's afford castration, because then he will be even more or in a better position to find a forever home. If you tell someone you have a stallion that needs rehomed, everyone's nervous. But if you tell them you have a gelding, the chances of him getting to a forever home goes way up. And so others could pay for the castration and get it done, but I think it makes others nervous. I've done it. I've probably brought in 150 stallions through the past 20 years and had them castrated, and I think that's doing a good thing, so that there will be less unwanted, untaken care of horses around. So all right, I did a lot more talking than I thought I'd do. Hopefully our buddy shows up soon, and if it's a good fit, if they'll take good care of her and they like her, then hopefully she will go to a forever home. And it sounded like this guy's dad is older than me, and they asked if she would be a good fit for an older man, and I really think she's just right. If you watched our last video, well, one of our last videos, sorry, I always say that because it seems like it was just the last video, but it's probably 3 videos ago by now. Blake and I went for a ride out to the Badlands, and I had forgot a bridle, got out there, and we just used a halter, and she did wonderful. So she's just a pretty cool horse. So let's see what happens. Well guys, meet Royce here. And I actually, when he said his name was Royce, I was like, wait, I think I know you. And I know Royce. She neck reins well, so you can just go with one arm there. But he's looking for a horse for his 70-year-old dad who has some cattle, and I was like, you know what, this might be the perfect fit for you. She's gentle, she's not too tall, she's beautiful. So there you go. And here's Royce's wife and beautiful little girl, future cowgirl of America. Gonna win the Navajo Nation beauty pageant. Do you want a rope to swing around on her?
Yeah, you got a rope?
Yeah. told Royce he's got to be ready to become famous though if he rides on YouTube. Royce is probably already famous. Guys, that's how it goes. Sometimes people try out a horse and you think it looks like a great fit, but they didn't think it was the perfect fit. But they said they'd think about it, so we'll see. But it was fun seeing Royce and his wife Lisa. I hadn't met her before, and that's how it goes. If it's not a good fit, you don't want the horse to go to that home anyway, so that's why you keep trying. Have a good night, guys, and thanks for coming along. It looks like today wasn't the right match for Harley, but someone else is coming, and if you followed Harley's story, well, you won't miss what's going to happen.